Look at that. Look at that forearm. It's all hard and vascular like a cock. Respect it. Alright, that aside, I've read an article yesterday from a blog that I happen to read regularly. A lot of you may or may not know who he is, but it's by a guy named Paul Carter. It's called Lift Run Bank. I'm going to link the little write-up that he did below. I thought it was really good, and I'd kind of like to give my own take on it. And it was about reasons versus excuses of why something went wrong or why you didn't accomplish something. And I like it because you can really apply it to not just your training or your diet or anything else, but to everything in life. And it is very good because, case in point, a reason why you're late for work would be if the power went out and you didn't realize that the battery had been dead, the backup battery on your alarm clock, your alarm didn't go off, you didn't know there was going to be a storm and an emergency power outing, and you overslept by 30 minutes. An excuse would be that you knew you had to work, but you stayed up too late surfing the internet and forgot to set your alarm at 1 in the morning when you went to bed because you were really tired, and then therefore you were late for work. And it's always interesting because I've been accused in the past of me using being sick as an excuse, and that was actually a reason why I lost all my gains and I'm having to rebuild. And therein lies the difference. A reason is something that is out of your control or generally out of your control, unforeseeable. A reasonable person couldn't predict it. Such as a car accident when you know you were sober, paying attention, whatever, you get injured, hurt, it prevents you from doing something. That's a reason. An excuse is something that you have control over, but either you're too lazy to make the effort or the effort itself seems like more than you're willing to put forward. And sometimes excuses are still okay because you're not willing to pay the price. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples there. A lot of you guys say, well, I can't eat the diet that I want to eat because I live with my mom. She cooks food for me, and therefore it makes it hard for me to count my macros and track what I eat or get enough protein or whatever the issue happens to be. That would be an excuse because it means that you're not willing to go get a job, to move out, to feed yourself, to do whatever it takes to meet your training goals. And you know you need certain foods to do it, and you refuse to do it. And even if you're in high school, you can go get a part-time job somewhere on the weekends. It would pay you enough money to supplement your diet and to help you hit the foods that you need to hit. Even if you're a high school student, it's an excuse. You're choosing not to do it when you know you need to do it because it's too much work. Or it's too much of an inconvenience. Or the person who says, it's my goal to reach X or Y, that physique or that athletic performance, but those guys use drugs and I won't use drugs. Well, that's an excuse. You choose not to use the drugs. Now, I'm not saying that you should, because for a lot of people that might be a really good excuse. It's not a reason because it's inside of your control, but it is an excuse, but it's an excuse that you feel is viable. So excuses aren't always bad. They're just saying that, hey, I'm not willing to put forward the effort or take the risk or pay the costs of achieving that goal. But in all honesty, if you know that you're making a reasonable excuse for something, you need to change your goal and drop the bullshit of I would do this or that, because it's really unrealistic and it's silly for you to have that as a possible goal or something that you claim that you want when you know that you're not going to do what it takes to do it. And you freely admit that you're not going to do that. So don't make excuses. Don't set it as a goal. Ignore it. Move on. Find something else in your life. And the thing to remember is that oftentimes there is a fine line between reasons and excuses. And a lot of times people let their excuses turn into reasons when they're really not, because they do have control. They just choose not to. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But go read Paul's blog. He's a really good writer. He puts out some good material, and the guy knows his shit. So check it out. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh.